Yesterday we left a few Baylor students gathered around a campfire at a retreat just before the fall term in 1944. In Riding the Wind, a personal history of the youth revival movement, Bruce McKeever writes it was nearly midnight when the little group finished praying. Words were no longer needed. God knew our thoughts and our dreams, and he spoke to us that night as he had spoken to Elijah, through a gentle whisper or through the sound of silence. Then the retreat was over and students returned to campus. McKeever continues, quietly small groups gathered to pray for spiritual awakening. We had a feeling that a movement bigger than life was in its formative stages and had captured our hearts and minds. We were not instigators, we were mere spectators. Throughout these students' story there is that sense. McKeever quotes a missionary to China from a century earlier, Hudson Taylor, as identifying 3 levels of praying. From, "O God, let me do your work," to, "O God, let me help you do your work," to, "O God, do your work through me." These Baylor students, he writes, moved through these 3 levels, ultimately realizing that their dream was God's plan, and that any hope of realizing that dream rested on God doing his work through them. Thus prayer, dependence on God, and trust in him to work through them became the key. Bruce McKeever, who had only recently arrived at Baylor from North Carolina with $90 to his name, was appointed to raise funds for the revival. From that point on, planning for the revival began to take off. We'll continue that story in Monday's Baptist Brief.